Good to go.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and call our meeting to order, and we'll begin with the pledge and the invocation.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Again, we thank you that we are able to gather together here with all the staff members and some parents and children, and we thank you for all that the children are accomplishing, and we thank you for all the community participation, the things that are happening, not just because of the folks that are here, but because of folks in the community. And we ask that you would bless everything that's happening here, and we ask that you would bless our meeting tonight, that you would guide us, give us wisdom and discretion. Amen. And we don't have any public here for public comments, so we'll move on to the student and staff recognition.
Okay. I would like to share the top scoring students for the general summative assessment that was taken last spring. For third grade for English Language Arts, Vera Selman, Kinsley Shane, and Carly Arball. For math, Vera Selman, Kinsley Shane, and Carly Arball. For grade 4 in English, Derek Greathouse, Jace Buckley, and Adeline Vance. And for Andeline. Okay, sorry. And math, Derek Greathouse, Jace Buckley, need a dog. What's the first name?
Noah Joe.
Noah Joe, yes, okay. And Brooklyn Vent, and there was 4 in that one because they had a tie. And 5th grade for English, Declan Shane, Levi Arball, Kimberly Sponogle. For math, Declan Shane, Derek Greathouse, and Sadie Weimer. And for science, Declan Shane, Levi Arball, and Emily Morris Hedrick. I'm very proud of these students.
Congratulations to all of them. Anything else in student and staff?
No.
That we've received the minutes of the October 21st board meeting. Are there any corrections or objections, or do we have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. We had both of them here. So Lisa can sort out which is which. And we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? Not then all in favor of approving the minutes for October 21, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, no. Motion passes. That brings us to personnel, all the way from Charleston.
Yes, I have 3 resignations.
I'd like to make a motion.
Hold on just a second, Christy. Hold on just a second. I'm sorry.
I'd like to make a motion for a brief executive session
We
to
have-
discuss personnel.
We have a motion for a brief executive session to discuss personnel. That's under West Virginia Code 69A4A. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion to that? Then all in favor of approving the motion to go into executive session?
Do you want to take
Oh, can we take her? Is she plugged in?
I didn't know she needed to be here as part of HR.
We'll go, so you all don't have to. We'll go to the little room over here.
No, we
You can go,
It's fine.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I just didn't know if you needed her for HR
We
purposes.
probably do.
yes, let's
Okay,
leave that.
then I will leave her.
So then all in favor of going into executive session, please signify by saying aye. And opposed, no. Thank you. Motion passes. We are on. So I will accept a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved.
And a second? Second. I have a motion and a second to come out of executive session. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And opposed, no. Motion passes, so we're coming out of executive session at 7:58. And now we're going to personnel.
Yay. I have 3 resignations tonight. Corey Wagner, before and after school tutor at Franklin Elementary School. Mary Beth Hebb for track and field assistant coach at Pendleton County High School. And Amy Kizamore, substitute nurse and substitute teacher. She took a full-time position, so.
Do we have a recommendation?
Do you have a recommendation to accept these resignations as presented?
Our superintendent's recommending that we accept the resignations as presented. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any questions? Then all in favor of accepting the resignations of Corey Wagner, Mary Beth Hebb, and Amy Kazamore, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, no. Motion passes. Employment.
Employment, we have Bethany Wetzel as head boys basketball coach at Pendleton County Middle School. We have Leslie Cook for the SAT 504 MTSS coordinator at Pendleton County Middle and High School. We have Ashton Hess and Ava Harper for substitute aide. And we have Elaine Coer as substitute teacher.
And I recommend that these positions be filled as presented.
Our superintendent's recommending employment of personnel as presented. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
We have a second here too, yeah. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any
Yeah,
questions?
Leslie Cook's job, is that a full-time job?
No,
No,
that's
it's
an
just a-
extracurricular.
Okay, that's what,
No.
all right, thank you.
Anything additional? Then all in favor of employing Bethany Wetzel, Leslie Cook, Ashton Hess, Ava Harper, and Elaine Coer,
Coer.
please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, no. Motion passes. And nothing else till we get to volunteers and chaperones? And we won't make you read all of them.
All right.
Do you recommend?
I do recommend that the volunteers and chaperones be approved as presented.
Our superintendent's recommending approval of the volunteers and chaperones as presented. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any questions?
Lisa, since my thing's down, everybody's okay, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything additional? Then all in favor of approving the volunteers and chaperones as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, no. Motion passes. Leave of absence.
We have one, Latasha Triplett, 5th grade teacher at Franklin Elementary School.
And I recommend that this leave of absence be approved.
We have a recommendation to approve the leave of absence. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any questions? Then all in favor of approving a leave of absence for Latasha Triplett, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, no. Motion passes. And I believe that finishes us up for personnel.
Yay!
Thank you. And we'll move to finance.
All right, for finance, we do not have all of our reconciliation files yet for the month of October, so we do not have a treasurer's report for tonight, but we will have it for the next meeting. Once the bank files were sent later this afternoon, we didn't have time, of course, to do a treasurer's report on that, so we'll have that at the next meeting. Bills for approval, item B, October 25th. We do have those as an attachment, and I'll go over some highlighted amounts for those on the bills. Starting with the total that we have for the bills of October. We had $472,019.77 for the regular accounts payable checks that were written. $319 for $32.99 electronic payments, such as for IRS withholdings and some insurances and retirements. A couple voided checks for $333.09, so total $791,119.67 for the month of October. going down the screen a little bit to give us some highlighted numbers. As Travis knows very well, when you have, even a small county like us, when you have a lot of buildings and individual HVAC units, we're always treating something or fixing something. This, we had to have ATR mechanical sales in our air mechanical sales to do some work with some of the systems that we're working with. And it mentioned the various Norfolk Elementary and the high school, so they were doing some work on that for us. And I think Dan was pretty pleased with their work on that issue. Security systems, Appalachian Signal and products. Of course, we have so many things that are automated, which is good, but when you have door security systems and cameras and any sorts of things like that, there's things that happen. I think Appalachian Signal was over here at the Michael Building this evening working on some stuff with phones. We had to have them come in to Brandywine in a couple places, and it says all locations there, so that was some work being done on security systems, and I think some camera systems as well. Pre-K curriculum, this Apple Tree Institute, I don't know if put Carrie on the spot, if she wants to say anything or not. We spent some money on pre-K curriculum.
This past year was the pre-K curriculum adoption year, and so this was the curriculum that they chose to go with, Apple Tree.
And so that's not something we have every year, but it is a year to update that. Therapy services, PT services, payment for that we part of our school system services that we provide. The large $69,021 North Fork Elementary. We did receive insurance reimbursement for that amount. And of course, it's being close to everything being finalized, as Lisa mentioned. That was the check that was written to Lance Construction, $69,021. And then we had some trench work done. You may have mentioned that already, Travis. Can you mention what the trench?
Yes, sir. Out in front of the steps, we had some flooding issues during the hard rains last spring and summer. And it would run down the steps, and it did get inside the building at least once. So we've installed a trench drain at the very top of the steps to hopefully carry that water out around, and that was all caused because when the paving was done, they didn't leave a lip there at the top of the steps, they made it flush. And another piece of that was a piece of downspouting off of the little overhang that covers the steps was left off at some point, and all the water from that side of the roof was coming down the left side of the stairs, also creating a way to get in there. So I don't know if they've completed it quite yet or not, but it's going to come down and go across the top of the door and tie in on the other side and out the other side. And I know they were waiting on a couple pieces of guttering to finish that job.
So that was our work up to that point. Electric bills, which I remember, again, as I've told you, several years ago when it used to be 200 and 220,000. For a couple of years now, it's 340 or 350, and we do what we can to reduce electric, but rates have gone up quite a bit, and even as we try to minimize usage, we just know that that's an expense that we're going to have, trying to keep it in check, but knowing that sometimes that is difficult when so much of what we do is automated and of course runs off of electricity. Another HVAC repair issues we have with Owens HVAC, they've been very good and responsive to us, and we've had some issues to come out at various locations. But again, whatever time of the year it is, even if it's not tremendously hot or cold, there can still be numerous issues that we have to take care of and make sure it gets maintained accurately. A couple notes I did not make: faculty senate funds were sent out during the month. So like 14.8 for the middle high school, that goes to their faculty senate. All 4 schools were sent out during this time frame. $21,400 Scott Flooring. It was a final bill for some of the floor refinishings that were done, and they seem to do an excellent job with the various gym floor refinishings that we have to do. Like a lot of expenditures, more than what it used to be for those sorts of items, but that was floor refinishing to Scott Flooring. Or at Gordon Food, I don't know the exact time frame for what this was. I think our year-to-date food costs, I need to get a report run, are down a little bit, but it's a large purchase, $77,000 for Gordon Food, which I think was a good stockpile of food for us. But that still just goes to show with food costs, it's still a significant expenditure. I will try to work and get a report on where our food costs are year-to-date and some of those items as well. That gets paid with our P card. We do get a rebate if we pay within a certain time frame, and if we use the P card as well. So that being said, the total expenditures again for the month of October were the $791,119.67.
And I recommend that the treasurer's report for October 2025 be approved as presented.
The bills be paid.
Bills.
Bills be paid, I'm sorry.
Our superintendent recommends that we pay the bills for October.
Yes.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any questions? Then all in favor of paying the October bills totaling $791,119.67, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, no. Motion passes.
It's a lot of bills.
It's a lot of bills.
Yeah, a lot of bills.
Do we still buy local beef?
We do still, we're required to buy a certain percentage, and we could ask Holly more of those details. We still do buy some. Now, that is bid out, and so Teets over at Baker, Lost River, has won the award the past couple years for that. And there's a certain amount required by the state, and I forget what that is, but Teets is who has been awarded that the past couple years. It was Flying W one time out of the Burlington area. They've come in higher. One time for a brief time, I think we did Darrell Warner locally, but then with pricing and competition, and that was a small order, I mean, Teets has come in lower the past couple years based on that. So nothing under budget revisions. We did quite a few the last two meetings. We'll come back to that. Of course, we'll need to at some future meetings with grants. Financial update. There's a lot of different meetings going on across the state. I had a conference at Canaan last week that went pretty well. Some legislators attended, and of course I'll be attending / presenting at the School Board Association meeting in a couple weeks at Stonewall. But aside from all that, I wanted to give an update on some targeted areas in the next few months. This first one would be CIS, and it's kind of called CIS analysis, but it's kind of just to really give basic information. We've talked about it for several years, and Charles really, set the stage in terms of funding is going to be going away. What are we going to do? And we're still looking through particular options. And, we did, as was referenced in the presentation this evening, some adjustments were made last year to allow us to continue with the 5 CS positions that we have currently. And so now FY26, this left-hand column is where we are right now, receiving 52.5 per site or per location, and they give us 5. Middle school and high school count as 2 separate locations. A little bit of carryover. And if you add in the salary and benefits, which looks at retirement and insurance, some basic supplies, we had a shortfall. Grant funds have covered CIS since the inception 5 or 6 years ago. Grant funds have covered CIS. And the decision was made for this year to continue as is with CIS, but we'd have to kick some county money into it, and that's where some of the adjustments were looked at on the personnel side to start planning ahead on that. Now, so looking ahead to FY27, the second column, starting going left to right, where it says 27 at 5, we get 37,500 per quarter. So the amount from the state per site decreases every year, and it's going to be phased out within several years. So if we had all 5 maintained, as is currently, we'd receive 187.5 in funding. We wouldn't really have any carryover. I think we're going to use everything we've projected for 26. Cost, depending on pay raises and insurance costs, some of those may come and go. We might reduce supplies a little bit. But, at the very least, I think a shortfall of almost 150,000, 147.5 for FY27 if we left everything as is on that. Well, one scenario is, what if we went to 3? What if we went to 3 coordinators, 3 site-based coordinators? And of course, you could look at 4, any number that you would like to. Well, we still get money per site, so instead of getting 187.5, we'd get 112.5. The cost would go down. and the shortfall would go down to 86,500. So you still have a shortfall, but not as much as all 5. If somehow went to 2, it would be a shortfall of 59,000. If you went to 1, it would be 30,500. And then FY28, we're only getting 18,750 per site. After that, it's all phased out. So obviously, with planning, with administration and personnel, nothing has been set in stone yet. This is just looking at particular scenarios and where we are. If the administration, if the board decided to maintain, it'd be a more significant increase, adding almost $100,000 from the 49.5 to the 147.5 FY27 looking forward. So that's just basic information. I'll be glad to answer any questions, or Nicole, if you want to make any comments or anything.
Well, we did cut the one position after we closed the one position with the hiring of Shelby Thomas to the counselor social worker. So the worst case scenario of 5 isn't as bad as that. So you take the one number, the 37.5, and subtract it from that. So if we were to keep the 4 as we have the model right now for next year, you could look at it that way. So if that helps you. So.
Yeah, so if we have, right, so we have 5, but really 4, considering it's a CIS/counselor. So if we're looking at 147.5 for 5 and 86.5 for 3, it'd be roughly maybe 110 or 115 if we had maintained 4 as it is currently, in between the 147.5 and the 86.5. So yeah, certainly we can do any scenario. We just have to pay attention to the trickle-down effects, what effects it would have on other programs, and we look at the larger picture. So this is really basic information. I mean, CIS funding is going away within several years. It's being ramped down by the state. So it's just information to have on hand right now as we go forward into budget and personnel season.
What's Mrs. Justice think of this?
She's probably not happy. But, now she is on the State Board of Education.
Right.
I'm sure she's not very pleased with that. But obviously her days with power are limited. She's on the state board, so she has some, but they're limited. And so we did receive, there was something in Metro News in the past week or so about the Marshall University president and a foundation giving some money for CIS to all schools in the state. Now, it amounted to about $1,500 per school, per site. So we are starting to receive those checks, which we're setting aside for CIS. So that was a small amount, but an appreciated amount to have for the CIS programs for that.
Yeah.
So
So any opportunity that we have to voice that we do very much appreciate these positions and want them supported financially, we need to jump at those opportunities, and I'll certainly share if I hear of anything.
And yeah, absolutely. I think that's one thing that we hear from every school is that they are tremendously appreciated. And in the circumstances and situation that we find ourselves in with a variety of challenges, I think that they are extremely helpful. So
I went to the presentation last week in Kaiser for the $1,500 donated from those foundations, and Michelle Blatt was there, which is the state superintendent, and she started out the day just telling us that she's still looking at some ways to try to fund this program even farther. They've got some work to do, but they hope to get some more money back into that system. So
I think it does truly change these kids' lives, to know that.
makes a difference. I think it makes a difference for the kids, and I think it helps the teachers a lot
Yeah,
because some of the things that we would be requiring the teachers to do,
Definitely.
they don't have time to do, is being picked up. So
They just need to add in the school aid, the package, the personnel package, add those positions.
That'd be wonderful.
well, there will be a lot of discussion this year in Charleston, on a variety of issues. And certainly, the more people that would speak out statewide in support of CIS, the better chance it would have. You need a cross-section of folks being able to say how important that is, whether it's school board members or administrators or other people in the trenches saying that to legislators of various areas. And but that would certainly be important to keep at the forefront on that. So that's all I have on financial update for this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for JP? Then we will say that we are done with finance and we'll move to facilities.
Well, we made a trip to Charleston today to present to the School Building Authority for needs grant that we submitted a little while ago, and I think the presentation went well, and we'll find out something here in December, whether we're going to get awarded any funds for a couple projects. Wanted to add what Lisa covered earlier here at this building, that we did add a floor to that package while we had everything out down there. If you remember, in that little music room, there was a little stage that had been put in there, I think, when the building was built. Because when we decided that that was going to go and that's something they wanted to remove, there was no tile under it. And so trying to find tile that matched was hard to do. And then we also had a couple damaged spots where you went into the hallway and I think into the PE office as well. So we did add a floor, which while everything was out of the room, it made sense to do that. We patched a couple holes, we added some new paint. So basically, you know, stuff like that happens, that's the time to do that work. And so we kind of discussed it and decided it was time to make that change there. So anyway, that room is pretty nice, and they'll hopefully be moving. I think some things might be moved back in there now, and we're trying to get it back up and going here after Thanksgiving. Speaking of floors, I think we discussed this possibly at one of our meetings, but in the daycare area there at the board office, in the part that they call Babyland, someone previously before us had put down some sort of the sticky adhesive tiles in that one section where they keep the little babies. And a lot of them were starting to peel up and cause some issues for them. And so we actually had the VCT tile put in that room with a couple coats of wax. So they should have a good durable floor in that area that should last them a long time. It was just an upgrade that we needed to make in there to make sure that they were safe and the kids were safe. And it was a good addition to that building. But other than that, I think we talked a little bit about the drainage over here. And down at the end of the lane here, you see a big pile of chips. We've been kind of planning that for probably 2 years. And getting them trucked in here is a little bit of a challenge, but it worked out pretty well for them to drop them off last week. We've got some equipment staged down there. And so the next 2 days, I'm going to have a couple guys over here working. I'm going to probably donate a little bit of time on Thursday myself to help them try to get, I'm not sure how many tons of chips is down there, but it's quite a bit. It's a tractor trailer load. And we're going to try to get all them on the playground and get that built up where it needs to be for safety purposes around the equipment. And I think she's got a couple other little tasks while we're down there to work on. So anyway, any questions for me?
Yeah, Travis, I don't remember ever tabling the curtain. Why did we table the curtain?
We didn't.
I didn't.
Her and I talked last year at the end of the school year, and I just don't think we ever got them ordered.
Okay, yeah, I
I
didn't remember ever tabling it.
We got the green light to order, and we just need to get it done. And if we were going into the summer, and we had some other issues in that building.
I was gonna say,
And it kind of took our minds off of that, but no, our plan is to do the curtain.
As soon as the Preservation Society meets, they're going to talk about allowing us to put rocks up there to protect our
Okay,
building. So,
that's good.
And what
yes.
about the pads, like in the gym?
That was before my time.
So can we,
Can they be
If
redone?
somebody wants to redo them, I mean,
or,
I don't know the possibilities of getting them rewrapped.
okay,
You know, that's on both ends of the floor? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, and the issue that's happened down there, whenever that building was built, they were burgundy for some reason.
Yeah.
And so you had some sound pieces in there, I think, that are
They're
up in
beige or
place.
something, aren't they?
If you look up in the
Gray.
cafeteria, I think they're beige too.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And then the previous person before me, when they ordered, they just stayed with the same color that was already in the scheme. And so when we did the ones under the basket so we could play games in there, it was done the same way. And the stage curtains. Stage.
Yeah, along the stage area.
so,
So is it possible to rewrap? I have no idea.
Never heard of that.
Brandywine, I'll just kind of
Got
tell
new
you
ones,
from
didn't we?
experience with them, they had to order theirs 3 times before they ever got them right. So it is a question we can ask. I think
We'll have to go back and kind of maybe pull some records and see what company we even ordered those from the last time. I think it was BSN, but I'm not 100% sure.
Is there a safe vinyl paint or anything? I don't know.
I wouldn't paint them. I don't think it'd ever stick.
Probably not.
Yeah. Now maybe the sound barriers you could take down and paint them a different color. I think we'd even talked about that
We
one
did talk
time.
about that, but getting them down.
Yeah, because they're a material I think that you can get it to absorb into. That vinyl you'll never get to stick, I don't think.
What
But-
about the color of the curtain when you reorder it? Are you gonna go with,
I leave that up to her.
I mean, we're definitely not going with green.
that's,
Well,
yeah.
and honestly, probably the best thing to do there would be to wait and let's see if we can
Get
see if
the
there's any way
mats done
possible to
first.
rewrap all that stuff that's in there. And then if it is, if you want to go back with a school color there, that would probably be what I would do. I would hold off on the curtain a little bit longer. And- Yeah, and I've got a contact with him. I can say something to him and see what his thoughts are on rewrapping. But that, I don't know why it was burgundy.
Maybe it matched the Indian in the middle of the floor.
I don't know.
It doesn't.
It
It
doesn't.
doesn't match the
it-
That's
Indian?
been repainted since the
Oh.
original.
There
was happened.
There's a pole underneath the basket on the side that Travis and I think that was wrapped
It
at one
was.
time.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
they tried to match that maybe.
Yeah, there's a couple of the beams that come down that were in the playing surfaces. They had burgundy, and that's why I'm
That's
going to say that's why
probably
they
why
chose burgundy for all the other mats in there. I don't know why.
Yeah.
You know, we were so happy to get a gym, I guess nobody.
Yeah,
thought about
Nobody
that.
cared, right?
Nobody thought
Nobody
about the
cared.
school color probably, and then
Yeah.
like you said, all the other stuff in there is green. And I mean, your emblem in the middle, it makes sense. You know, your school colors up here are too, but you still got some burgundy in this building too. So I think it was just something when, I'm not sure what the process of building a new school was back in 97, 98, 99, somewhere around that, but for some reason that was a color of choice for this building, even though it wasn't really. Yeah, you had some too. So, but we can check and see, and I'll try to get some information and we can talk about it.
Anything else under facilities? Any questions? Okay, we'll say we're done with facilities, nothing under old business, so we go down to new business and we have school mapping.
Okay, I'd like to share about that because with Brandon Hours, and Travis, you can jump in too, but he had mentioned the labeling. And so we had, with the legislation with school mapping that's going to be required, we had a Zach Query come and visit us on the 27th, and he explained what they do. And his work came from being in Iraq and them moving through areas, and they developed this system. And so essentially, I don't know if you guys ever played Battleship, but I played Battleship all the time with my brother. It was the only game he'd play with me. And so they make it so that you can easily find the location. Like if you have other people coming in to serve, you know, and they need you to go to room 208, then they know that that is F4. And they know where to go. So that will be all electronically done. They come in, they update everything, they put it in the system. This merges with all of our emergency contact companies, businesses, whatever we need to do. Their cost is $4,250, which we get per $4,500 per school, so we will be reimbursed. If in the future we need updates, because if you even look at the high school's layout, the latest one that we have, it still has that back room that's now a teacher's lounge area that used to be a classroom, and it's been remodeled. That's not on what we have right now, and so that would cause a problem. So if we have like any remodeling, we can pay $550 for a year to just update one school. It's per school, but we could do one school if we know that we've done some kind of thing crazy, you know, and bring it back up, and then everything is synced in. So we are asking that we go ahead and move forward with getting this work initiated. Anything else?
No, I think it's good. And like, we do have to have the approval from the 911 center, which we've already got that pretty much approved. Rick Lispy knew this fella, and all of their information is compatible with the 911 center system, and it can be sent out to the state police, sheriffs, anybody who comes up. It can be sent out electronically from the 911 center to the people arriving on site, so they got it right on their phones if they want to. And so it's a pretty nice little setup, and we'll go ahead and get the process started, because it will take a little bit of time for them to come in and do the process that they need, and we just got to get it completed by September 6th, I think, of 2026.
How much did you say it was for each school?
$4,250, and we're allotted $4,500. They come under just a little bit.
So we have a recommendation to a critical response group to approve the school mapping with critical response group. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any questions? Then all in favor of approving the school mapping through critical response group, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, no. Motion passes. MOU with Marshall University.
That's me. This is an MOU that will allow Pendleton County high school students to be directly admitted to Marshall University. We will share information about students, and they have to qualify. They have to have a 2.5. They have to have a diploma. So it will just allow them to be directly admitted, and Marshall will renew this annually if we choose to go with it. And I don't know if Dr. Lambert has anything else to add. He was instrumental in obtaining this MOU.
So if you all approve this, what will happen is it will go back to Marshall University, where their Board of Governors will also approve the MOU, and at that point, they will schedule an event to come to the high school to publicize that we are part of their direct admit program. And then toward the end of the school year, they'll ask for some data for the students who choose to opt in. So we would have to send out information to parents to allow their students to opt in to the Marshall direct admit program. And then at that point, Miss Judy, the school counselor, would send names, addresses, GPA, all the information that's in the MOU. We would send to Marshall, and all of those students would then get a letter in the mail saying, "Congratulations, you have been admitted to Marshall University if you so choose to come." There's no application, there's no fee, and no ACT or SAT test scores required.
That's awesome.
So I've been working with the Office of Admissions over the past month, and hopefully, fingers crossed, next month there'll be another one with another university on the agenda.
So we have your recommendation?
Yes, please.
Our superintendent recommends that we sign this MOU with Marshall University. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any questions? Then all in favor of signing the MOU with Marshall University, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, no. Motion passes. Thank you. Attendance waivers.
This is a little bit different than what I typically present to you. This is a revocation. So, our attendance waiver 25-26 number 3, we are asking to revoke that waiver due to some academic concerns.
Okay, you recommend?
Yes.
Our superintendent recommends revoking attendance waiver 25-26 number 3. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any questions?
Has there been conferences with the parents or whatever yet? Or not until?
Mr. Lambert has been working with the family, yes.
Okay. I mean, they're aware of this.
I had a meeting with the student, and he agreed that it was in his best interest,
So
so
very good.
he and I came to this conclusion.
Thank you.
Anything additional? Then all in favor of revoking attendance waiver 25-26 number 3, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, no. Motion passes. Board meeting attendance schedule.
Okay. And the Colorado Middle High School is asking that we change their LSIC school meeting to February because there's a conflict. What's the exact date? February 3rd. So I would recommend that we would make this change.
Our superintendent's recommending that we adjust the meeting that we have with Pendleton County Middle High is February 3rd. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any questions?
I just hope it isn't the snow the night of this. 'Cause that's why I started all this stuff last year.
Yeah, we have problems. Anything additional? Then all in favor of adjusting the Pendleton County Middle High School meeting to February 3rd, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, no. Motion passes. Student transfers.
I have one student transfer request. It's transfer 25-26, number 9, for your approval.
Do you recommend?
Yes, I do recommend.
Our superintendent recommends that we approve the transfer of student number 2526-9. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any questions? And then all in favor of approving the transfer of student 2526, number 9, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, no. Motion passes. So I think that finishes us up under new business, and we now move down to other, and we have October enrollment.
So do you want to talk about that, JP?
I can. Obviously, this is the October enrollment for the official count that the state uses for funding and for some other factors as well. Obviously, with the 1,400 floor, it doesn't mean quite to us what it does mean to some other counties, even though if we have a little bit of a issue this year with the calculation with Pocahontas County. But it is down a little bit from the prior year. As I will scroll down the page, 843 is the second month enrollment. Here, a year ago, it was 851. I think we did fluctuate a little bit during the year last year. So Brandywine was at 124 this year, second month. Last year it was 114. Franklin Elementary has stayed the same, 247, 247. North Fork down slightly from 103 to 97. The Tittle Elementary is basically the same, up 3 students. Pendleton County Middle High is down 11, 375 this year, was 386 last year. So again, 843 to 851 as far as the official second month calculation goes. And then Lisa has prepared this chart also as well, which shows the comparisons in net change for the area. So Brandywine obviously had the big positive change based on that one. Middle high school was down 11, and so the net change is from 851 to 843 based on the enrollment.
I saw the 8th graders today. That's a big 8th grade class over there.
Yeah, 71. So if we go back and look, yeah, sometimes you have those numbers, and you can't quite attribute it to any one thing other than it is a larger year. So sometimes we'll look, I'll probably talk about this a little bit at the meeting in Stonewall coming up. Sometimes people say, well, how do you project what your future enrollment's going to be? Well, if people are moving in and moving out and going to homeschool and charters, you cannot predict all of that. If you want to look at what's in your school system that you know of, then you can look at also, well, how does the kindergarten and first grade classes compare to 11 and 12, for example? So 68 and 67, 60 and 63, pretty stable. You see some up and down in there, but in the 60s primarily, a couple 50s, a couple 70s. So that would say now pre-K, you don't always see every student in pre-K. Of course, it may be a smaller, and it may be in a smaller kindergarten. We don't know yet. That is a 45 number for pre-K. But at any rate, it's pretty steady across the board as that goes on. Now, pre-K a year ago was 58. So you go 58 to 45. Now, the 58 pre-K became 68 kindergarten, So again, we gained 10. So could we gain 10 or more for pre-K? Maybe we will. Don't know for sure. So you don't always capture all the people in pre-K. So we've been in the 850 range for 5 or 6 years, give or take a little bit to the plus or to the minus. Obviously, we'd love to see the county grow for a variety of reasons. wouldn't necessarily help school funding, but it would certainly just indicate a growing county, a positive sign for the county in general. I'm not sure what this second attachment is. I will take a look.
It's just for their information to show where they
Okay.
came from and where they went.
Okay, all right, so some basic information there, a little more technical information. So you can see some of those basic calculations we have for the enrollment. So this is our official enrollment. As we get certified on personnel, I don't always bring those numbers to you because until we get to dollars and cents, it doesn't make much difference. As we get the certified list of personnel, just like there's a certified number of students enrollment, there's a certified list of personnel, how many we have, how many we're funded for, and of course the 1,400 floor is part of that. So as we get through the next few meetings, I will try to bring some information about the personnel as well and how it relates to state funding. But that's all I have under the enrollment.
Any questions under the enrollment? We'll move down to school improvement, student achievement.
Do you have anything, Travis?
I do not have anything.
Okay, nothing under school improvement, student achievement. Superintendent's update.
Okay, like Travis said, we did go and have the interview today, so we'll be anxious to hear about how we fare with that on December 15th. And that's, anything else? I think we're good as far as, we're rolling, definitely. Like they said, October is a long month, and we've got some days coming up here that people I think will very much appreciate. Just a day off for Veterans Day, and then Thanksgiving rolling around very quickly, so.
Can I add something?
Yes.
We did have our second round of bus inspection, and all the buses that were inspected cleared inspection. And he also reviewed all the files at central office, and he only found one item. Somebody didn't use their full name on one of their pieces of paperwork, so it was really good. So just a shout out to, Chuck and John for keeping them on the roads, and all the drivers for keeping their buses clean and good shape.
Awesome, great job.
Thank you.
Good.
Conference and meeting update.
Okay, so on the 15th, I'll be going with you all to the school board conference, and then on the 17th, we have our South Branch Career and Technical meeting, and then November 20th, an EPIC meeting again. That'll be it for November.
Any questions for the superintendent? Then our next meeting will be held on Tuesday, December the 2nd at the Pendleton County Board office at 5:30, and I will accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And a second. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Well,
One of us, I don't
Meeting's
know.
adjourned.